throws it deep downfield. Tyree who makes the catch. What a play by Manning, and what a catch by Tyree. Manning takes the snap, lobs it left. First is wide open. Touchdown Giants!
Touchdown!
Deep ball down the left sideline, and it's going to be caught. Was he inbounds? Yes! Manningham on the sideline. Brady heaves one down the middle of the field into the end zone. A jump ball, and it's incomplete. And the ball game's over. And the Giants have won Super Bowl 46.
Welcome to episode 5 of the Papa's Perspective podcast, presented by Bob's Discount Furniture, the official furniture store and mattress partner of the New York Football Giants. I am John Schmeelk, joined as always by the voice of the New York Football Giants, Bob Papa. And Bob, as the Giants get ready to take on the Miami Dolphins, these are fun because we don't have a ton of choices in these NFC, AFC matchups, but the Giants and Dolphins have played some memorable games.
Well, I mean, we're going to start in 2007 when we hopped on a flight to London. Yes, for the inaugural, NFL international game with the Giants and the Dolphins at Wembley Stadium. It was a Dolphins home game. I remember taking the flight. David Deal and I sat on the bus next to each other from the team hotel to the practice facility each day. David's very superstitious. We like to sit in the same seats. And it was really awesome walking into Wembley Stadium and knowing the history of that building and knowing the history of what it was all about as far as soccer in that building. And going into the locker room, they're small. Obviously, there's less players on a soccer team. And they have the nets in the ceiling because when the players are in the locker room and they want to loosen up, they're kicking balls in the locker room and making sure that the lights don't break. They're kicking the ball up and down, working on their headers. So they had nets all along the ceiling so that none of the lights would break. So that was kind of a cool thing.
And then we had to spend extra time in those locker rooms after the game because we had to wait for our international flight to be ready to get out of there, right?
Yeah, they had snacks for us. They had food to be eaten. And, it was a memorable trip. I remember taking rickshaw rides through London, trying to get to and fro where we were going.
London cab drivers, by the way, unbelievable. They know exactly where they're going. Like they have these fancy tests and everything.
Yeah, it was really a cool experience. I hadn't been to London in probably, I don't know, it was a while since I had been to London, probably 15 years when I did the World League of American Football, the New Jersey Knights.
Scottish Claymores, right?
Yeah, and the London Monarchs. So it was kind of cool. I remember walking out on the field. There was a couple of things I was interested in. Walking out on the field, you saw how thin the grass was, and you were wondering, how is this going to hold up for an NFL game? This is a soccer pitch.
It was almost like for American fans that might not understand, it's basically like a fairway on a golf course.
Yeah, and it didn't really hold up great, which the league has since improved tremendously with the games being played there. The other takeaway I remember is the opportunity to go sightseeing and hang out in London. It was a fun trip, and there was a game to be played. And I was wondering about our broadcast position because it's not a stadium built for NFL. And I remember the one thing, you're sitting outside in media sections, and I remember the other thing was the seats are all bolted down, so you couldn't really move. They were just swivel seats that you would have when you were in grade school, small seats.
And we're only a few rows away from the fans too, by the way.
Yeah, we were right near all the action. Now the game itself, not exactly memorable as far as the quality of play, because Cleo Lemon wound up being the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins that day. So they're going with Cleo Lemon as the starting quarterback.
Boy, Bob, who was their starter that year that he replaced? Do you remember?
I don't. I think it was, John Beck did not play. He was inactive.
I realize I'm putting you on the spot here, but I was just trying to remember who the Dolphins starting quarterback was that year. I'm going to look it up. Go ahead.
They had some injuries and stuff like that. But anyway, they go on a drive early, and former Giant Jay Feely misses a field goal wide right on the opening possession. So no score. Giants get the ball. They drive it downfield. They have it first and goal at the 4-yard line, but Jacobs gets stopped, and then there was an incomplete pass. So they send Lawrence Tynes, who's of Scottish descent, out to kick a 20-yard field goal. Let's listen to the call.
All right, this will be a 20-yard attempt. Lawrence Tynes was actually born in Scotland. Snap is good. Kick on its way. Line drive, and it is good. Much to the delight of the soccer fans.
Yeah, and that was the thing. They got so excited when there was a punt or a kickoff or a field goal like you had never seen before. Like, that was big. That was like big deal. I remember going to the practice earlier in the week, and the as much as the soccer players where the Giants were training at the soccer facility were in awe of the size of the football players, they really bonded with the kickers and punters. But I remember the one soccer guy I remember talking with one of the players from the team, and he was talking about kicking it, and he could kick it. And then when he saw the size of the linemen rushing and the people rushing at the kick, he was like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Might be a little bit more difficult. So 3-0 Giants. Dolphins get the football. And the Giants, defense was a key component of that 07 team, and they make a big play in the first quarter on a 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1 for Miami. Lemon out of the gun. Now they go direct snap. Ball was bobbled in traffic, and the Giants say they have it. It was a direct snap to the wide receiver, and the Giants have the football. It is New York Giant football. It was a direct snap to the wide receiver. I think it was Hagan who came in, no Booker, and he never got it cleanly. And it was a scramble for it, a scrum, if you will, and the Giants come away with it.
Yep, Jabril Wilson picked up the football for the Giants, but the Giants have to punt. Fiegels gets a standing ovation for getting off a 42-yarder. And we move along into the second quarter. So the Giants have the lead here, and they got to make a play. And Tom Coughlin makes a decision. The ball's at midfield. There's like 6 minutes to go in the second quarter, and the Giants decide to roll the dice.
Manning over center. Calling signals from O'Hara. Sends Toomer in motion. Manning, handoff, drones, runs left. He's got the first down and then some. The Miami 47-yard line. They ran behind Deal and Soybert. And the tight end's on the left, and they convert.
My Bradshaw was hurt that year, Bob. So Reuben Jones had to play a bigger role earlier in the year, and he was a high-character guy.
He was certainly a high-character guy. Everybody loved him in the locker room. That was a 4th and 1 play. Yeah, Bradshaw really came on later in the year. He was a rookie that season. So the Giants take it inside the 2-minute warning, and they get the first touchdown in London, and it comes from by far the least likely source.
Manning calling signals. Play fake, looks, trying to find Shockey. He's covered. Manning's going to roll to his left. Manning's going to run to the 5. Manning to the goal line. Touchdown, Eli Manning! A rushing touchdown for Eli.
Not often did he show off the wheels, Bob, but he did there.
Yeah, his 10-yard scamper. I think he did the 10 yards in about 8 seconds. But it was a nice touchdown. So it's 10-0 Giants. Cleo Lemon was able to move his team in this game at different points. And with 32 seconds to go, Miami is within striking distance, and the defense comes up big.
Lemon sends Hagan to his left. Ginn split wide right. Booker is the slot man right of the formation. Peel comes in motion to the right. Lemon takes a shotgun snap, back to throw. Ball slipped out of his hands. It's a turnover and recovered by the Giants. At the 35-yard line, Michael Strahan recovers it.
I looked it up, by the way. Trent Green and John Beck were the other two starting quarterbacks of the Dolphins that year.
There you go. So Michael Strahan, it's great hearing some of these names. Boy, Michael Strahan, he was glad he came back for that year. So the Giants take the lead in the locker room at the half. Not a lot's happening in the third quarter. Both teams are moving the ball, but both teams don't really do anything. It was just kind of a weird vibe in this game. Like, the Giants had it at the plus 39, but they had to punt. They eventually tack on a Feely field goal, Miami does, to get on the board. So it's 13-3 Giants late in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, the Giants go on a drive. Lawrence Tynes misses a 29-yard field goal wide left. So the Giants aren't able to build upon their lead. They never really get the knockout score. And then all of a sudden, Miami scores late. With 2 minutes to go in the game, Cleo Lemon throws a 21-yard touchdown pass to Teddy Ginn. And you're sitting there and you're saying, wow, we came all the way over here for this? Like, they can't put this bad Miami team away? So, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, the kicking game was the big part of this, right? punting, kicking, they all love that stuff. Well, after the Teddy Ginn touchdown, it's now 13-10 Giants, so here comes the onside kick.
All right, here's the hands team for the Giants. Torbor, Wilson, Tyree, Blackburn, Boss, Hedgecock, Toomer, Ross, McQuarters.
Some good names there.
Drones is back deep. Feely has it teed up. He's going to bounce this one, I believe, to his right. Sends it on its way. It does not go 10 yards. It goes out of bounds. He never even gave his team a chance. It didn't bounce. It slid.
And there's the turf that you were talking about.
Yeah. So they've since figured out a way to figure out the turf situation in England. But that was a memorable, historic game. Not a memorable game by the game stature, but memorable by what it meant for the NFL and the international series.
And Bob, I just want to bring one other thing up just to give fans an idea of what the Mara family and Giants ownership and the Tisch family are all about. They literally let every full-time employee bring out 2 members of their family for an entire week. And they basically set up tours of London and of England to let their whole families enjoy that week out there at no cost to the employees' families. It was an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, it really was. The Giants did it right, and it was a great experience for the families of the organization, the players, and if you're going to make that trip, you might as well go out with a win. So now we move to 2011. We go from one Super Bowl season to another. MetLife Stadium, October the 30th. Dolphins are in town, and it's a cold day in November. The Giants are trying to kind of get things going in the right direction. And, again, it's a Super Bowl season. And it's interesting because, again, this wasn't a good Miami team. The Giants got the ball first. They drive it downfield. And instead of kicking a field goal, because remember, the wins at MetLife Stadium could be difficult too. And there was a lot of wind that day. I remember it because I remember the kind of day that it was. It was much colder and rawer than it should have been for that time of year. So instead of trying a long field goal with Lawrence Tynes, the Giants had the ball in the opening possession of the game at the Miami 34, and Tom Coughlin decides on a 4th and 9 to go for it.
Giants spread the formation, 4th and 9 at the 34 of Miami. Manningham in motion from the right. Manning back to throw. Steps up, has time. Deep ball down the right side in traffic, incomplete, intended for Manningham.
Into double coverage there, too. There was nothing there.
So the Giants turn it over on downs.
Yeah, and then Miami goes downfield, and they put points on the board. Matt Moore was the quarterback. Slayton with a 1-yard touchdown run. So the Giants find themselves behind the 8 ball, 7-0. They put a drive together. Manning hit Jake Ballard on a 21-yard catch and run. But again, the Giants have the ball at 1st and 10 at the 12. They get called for a penalty. Tynes kicks a 25-yard field goal, down 7-3 going to the second. And, Matt Moore, he had his little burst in the NFL. And on the first possession of the second quarter, Miami widened their lead.
4th and goal at the 1 with the Dolphins up 7-3. Strong formation to the left. Watch Clay. They'll throw it to him. Eye set. Play fake. Moore's going to roll to his right. He's going to run. Walks in for the touchdown. Giants sold out for the run up the middle, and Matt Moore runs it in for a touchdown. And Miami up 13-3 with 9:37 to go in the half with an extra point coming.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a Giant team that's supposed to win this game. And I remember that feeling of anxiety, like, are they going to lose another one of these games where they're the better football team? A couple possessions later, the Giants go on a drive late in the half. There was a big play. There was a 3rd and 8. Manning hits Victor Cruz for 11 yards. We're inside the 2-minute warning. The Giants are bleeding clock. There's just seconds to go in the half. And the Giants had a 1st and 10 at the 16, now facing a 3rd and 1 at the 7.
So let's see if the Giants can get a touchdown going into halftime. Down 14-3 right now. Nix wide right. Manningham split left. Ballard and Cruz in a slot left. Manning out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Throws one left. Looking for Manningham, who's got a touchdown on the corner fade.
So the Giants finally get on the board at the end of the half.
That was a play, by the way, they practiced all the time, that little fade route to the corner.
Yep, and they needed it. So they had some momentum because the Dolphins got the ball to start the third. And right away, I mean, second play of the third quarter, Miami starts moving the ball again.
Handoff for Reggie Bush. Gets a hole left, and there he goes. Out across the 40, across midfield. More missed tackles as he's finally dropped at the Giant 40. And it's a big run for Reggie Bush. 28 yards on the carry.
He had a 28-yarder in this game, a 35-yarder in the game. He averaged 7 yards a carry. Reggie Bush had 103 yards. Now, the Giants had 5 sacks in the game, which is a big component of this. So now the Giants are down 17-10. Carpenter kicked a field goal. I remember there was no more scoring in the third quarter, but the Giants were on a drive in the fourth quarter, and there was a big third down play in Miami territory that led to Giants points.
Manning, play fake, back to throw. Rolls right, throws right. Ballard's got it wide open at the 30, 25-20, tackled at the 18-yard line. Gain of 22 for Jake Ballard,
who would wind up playing a big role for the team during that season. But again, I think Giants fans that are listening to this right now, thinking of Giants football today, the Giants had red zone problems. They had red zone problems, and they were not able to get the ball in. Tynes with a field goal, so they're down 4. But they get a 3-and-out. And then the Giants get a big play from Bradshaw, an 11-yard run. And then the Giants, again, in Miami territory, facing another third down.
Manning back to throw. Over the middle, completes it to the 10. That's Victor Cruz, and he spins off and into the end zone for a touchdown. Wow! He just kept his feet churning. And the Dolphins couldn't get him to the ground, and the Giants have their first lead of the day with 5:58 to go.
Bob, if you can't score in the red zone, score from outside the red zone.
Yeah, and that, I mean, listen, Victor Cruz, I mean, this is his year of bursting into the sun, and he's becoming a big part of this Giants football team. So now Miami has the ball late in the game, and I mentioned the Giant defense comes up big, like back-to-back sacks.
More on a play fake. He's back to throw. He's under pressure. He'll get sacked by Osi Umenyiora. Back of the 28-yard line. Marshall split right. They got Tryon on him. Moore's back to throw. Moore's under pressure, sacked again. Back of the 19-yard line. Kiwanuka. 2.5 sacks for Matthias today.
So back-to-back sacks, 2-minute warning. It's 4th and forever for the Dolphins and one last gasp.
Ball at their own 27. 20-17 Giants. Moore over center. Giants show blitz. They back off. Moore's back over the middle. Intercepted by Corey Webster. On the run at the 40. 35-30. Run out of bounds at the 25.
Corey Webster with the big play, and boom. Giants with a 20-17 win. They survive against an inferior Miami team and win the football game.
All right, so Bob, let's move ahead now. We jump to 2015. Obviously, these are once every 4-year matchups.
All right, Monday Night Football. Next one, Giants and Dolphins. 2015. Look, the season's not going great for the Giants. This was the season of inability to hold leads. This was a season in which the Giants set an NFL record for the most blown leads in a season with 2 minutes to go or less in the game. And I think the Giants lost 3 of those games in the last minute when they had the lead. The defense just really wasn't very good at closing out games. Remember the game against the New England Patriots with Tom Brady, and the Giants had an interception at the end of the game. Brady converted a 4th and 10. So it was a year in which they couldn't stop people. But we're going to start this highlight, or this highlight package, with their defense actually making a play early in the game.
Tannehill on a 2nd and 4, sets over the middle, wide open is Sims. Fumble the football, it's loose. Scramble for it on the ground, and let's see, do the Giants have it? Yes, they do, at the 37-yard line.
A lot of cheering because the game was in Miami, and there's a lot of transplanted New Yorkers, so it was like a Giants home game. Miami wasn't a good team that year. Landon Collins with a nice play. Giants get a field goal, so they go up 3-0. Lamar Miller gets a touchdown back. The Giants go to their run game at the end of the first quarter. Rashad Jennings rips off a pair of runs for 30 yards, and that's how the first quarter ends. Giants have to hit a 3rd and 4 at the Miami 12. Odell Beckham Jr. With a nifty 6-yard catch over the middle. But then the Giants are facing another 3rd down, trying to regain the lead.
3rd and goal at the 6. Now Vereen comes in motion from the far right side. Nix and Randall split to the left. Manning takes the snap, back to throw. Fires one left into the end zone. Touchdown, Giants, Ruben Randall.
Listen to that crowd. It's always cool doing games in Florida, whether it's Tampa or Miami, because it's like a Giant home game. So the Giants had the lead. Miami gets the lead back. Miller with a 38-yard touchdown run. Again, the defense was not a strength of this 2015 team. Remember, Ben McAdoo, this was his first year as the offensive coordinator, and Eli had tremendous numbers that year. Eli does fumble a football late in the half. Miami takes over deep in Giants territory, but the Giant D holds him to a field goal. So it's 17-10. But the Giants have some time left, and you never count Eli Manning out when you got the 2-minute drill work, and Odell makes a big play to set up a score.
Odell Beckham split right. Manning back under pressure. Deep ball down the middle of the field. Looking for Odell Beckham Jr. Makes a leaping catch and is touchdown at the 30-yard line. Manning out of the gun. He's back to throw. Steps up, lobs one right corner of the end zone. Touchdown Giants. Will Tye.
Love it.
The kid from Stony Brook with his first ever touchdown catch, and the Giants are an extra point away from tying it.
Will Tye, after the Odell catch, Vereen had a 10-yard catch and run, so the Giants get it tied up at the half. Third quarter, Ryan Tannehill, remember he was drafted by the Dolphins, now starring with the Titans. He puts Miami back up on the Dolphins' first possession of the third.
Tannehill out of a shotgun set, checks over the coverage. Giants bring pressure. They pick it up. Now he's going to throw a deep ball down the left side. Stills makes the catch at the 10 to the 5 and in for the touchdown.
So Miami goes up 24-17. Giants come right back. Chunk plays. Randall for 12. Damian Harris for 7. Orleans Darkwa, a 10-yard run in there. And then Giants have it 1st and goal at the 6, and Odell makes an Odell-like play.
Odell Beckham Jr. splits wide to the near side right. Jennings in a one-back set. 2 receivers bunched left. Manning takes the snap. Stops, throws one into the end zone. Caught by Odell Beckham Jr., but he's out of bounds. Now the officials are discussing it. Odell Beckham Jr. says he has a touchdown. Did he drag the feet? He caught it going out of bounds. Let's see. He gets both hands on it. Well, if that first foot is in, that's a touchdown. He controlled it through the act of the catch.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed. The receiver had possession, got 2 feet down in bounds. It is a touchdown.
And
New York will not be charged.
Huge amount of Giants fans here rejoice. Odell Beckham Jr. with his 11th touchdown catch of the season. Controlled it throughout the act of the catch as he hit the ground. Ball never moved. What a play by number 13.
And this is right in the middle, Bob, of that you must control through the act of the catch point of NFL officiating, so it was important to review those types of plays.
Certainly was, and the guy was brilliant. I mean, he was a fantastic player. It just too bad it didn't work out the way it could have worked out, but that is history. Giants had a chance to take the lead. Josh Brown missed a 48-yarder. So fourth quarter, tied at 24. Giants get a stop, but they're starting on their own 4. Rashad Jennings has a big 12-yard run just to get you out of your own end zone. So the Giants have a 1st and 10 at their own 16, and then they make a huge play.
Manning now in a shotgun set on a 1st and 10 from the Giants' 16. Jennings to his left. Manning back to throw. Steps up. Deep ball over the middle. Wide open Odell Beckham Jr. He's across midfield. Dolphins in his rearview mirror. 10-5. Touchdown Giants. 84 yards. And the Giants are back in front.
Odell would have 166 yards in this football game. Giants take a 31-24 lead. Look, the game is still hanging in the balance late, right? Miami had a drive. They had a punt. Giants had to convert a big third down. Rashad Jennings had a run for 3.
3rd and 2 from the Giant 28. Nick's belly's back to the right, comes set. Hand off Jennings off the left side. He's got the first down across the 30. And he's tackled at the 31. Gain of 3 for Rashad Jennings.
So we get to the 2-minute warning. It's another third down situation for the Giants, and they want to seal the deal. So Manning goes to his best player.
Manning pumps his leg, checks over the defense one more time. Takes the snap, he's going to throw it. Throws it right for Odell Beckham Jr. Makes a sliding catch. First down, Giants at the Miami 43.
And there you have it. Giants seal the deal, win the football game. Wasn't a great season, but they got the job done.
And, of course, you mentioned them having trouble getting stops on defense, Bob. That precipitated that offseason, them signing Olivier Vernon, Janoris Jenkins, Snacks Harrison to try to improve that defense. And it did work for at least that 1 year.
Yeah, it did work in 2016. The Giants wound up making it to the playoffs, and those guys played a big role in all of that. All right, let's go to the final meeting between these two teams, the last meeting, MetLife Stadium, 2019. Dolphins coming into town. And this was a game that had a lot of significance because this would turn out to be the final start of Eli Manning's career. He had played the previous week. Daniel Jones was hurt. Should have won that game in Philadelphia. It should have been. He should have gotten a write-off with a win in Philadelphia. Has to start the game against the Dolphins. Jones can't go. So, obviously a lot of people are saying, look, this is probably Eli's last start. Definitely his last start at home. First quarter, Giants don't get any points on the board. Eli gets sacked on the Giants' first drive. So the Dolphins have it. They move the ball down the field. Ryan Fitzpatrick's the quarterback. Rather than kicking a field goal, Miami, deep in Giants territory, decides to go for it.
4th and 1 at the 10-yard line of the Giants. 2 tight ends to the right. Laird, the tailback. Fitzpatrick calls out signals. Handoff, Laird hit behind the line by Tomlinson and dropped by Love.
Dalvin Tomlinson with a big play and Julian Love stopping the Dolphins at the Giants' 10. Manning hits Caden Smith on a 27-yarder. Barkley with a 12-yard run. And just get the ball out of there a little bit. Eli missed on a pass to Golden Tate, so the Giants have to punt the football away. Miami gets a nice drive going. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's had some big moments and some low moments against the Giants. This was one of his better moments.
Fitzpatrick back, looks left, throws right, wide open, touchdown on the slant to Devontae Parker. It's beat him all season, running the seam, and if it's going to beat you for 13 weeks, it's going to beat you in your 14th game as well.
Yeah, that's pretty much sums up the Giants' defense that year. So Eli has to go to work, and the Giants come right back and answer to tie the game.
So 1st and 10 Giants at their own 49. They get the penalty on a 3rd and 10. 2 receivers right, 1 split left. Barkley to the right of Manning in a shotgun set. Manning on a play fake, looks right, throws right, passes, caught by Tate, makes a man miss to the 20, 15. He's to the 5, backs into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, Golden Tate didn't turn out to be the signing that the Giants would have hoped, but 51-yard touchdown ties the game at 7. Giants have a chance late in the half. They're trying to put a drive together, but Eli makes a mistake.
Manning takes a shotgun snap back to throw, and it's intercepted. Stepping in front of Shepard is Vince Beagle, and he gets tackled at the Giant 28-yard line.
Yeah, he sat right on that one.
So Miami now has a chance. The Giants get a big stop on a 3rd and 10. Allen Hurns with a 9-yard catch. Sam Beal with the tackle. Sanders kicks a field goal. So the Dolphins take a 10-7 lead into the locker room. Giants get the ball to start the 3rd, and right away they face a big 3rd down.
Manning in a shotgun set. Barkley to his left. Dolphins crowd the line. Shepard in motion to the right. Manning back to throw. Fires it over the middle. He's got Latimer on the run. Latimer jukes at the 25 to the 20 and upended at the 16-yard line. That's a gain of 21 for Cody Latimer, and the Giants have a 1st and 10.
Yeah, they have 1st and 10 at the 16, and 2 plays later, they take the lead.
Manning over center. Play fake, back to throw. Has time. Nobody's open now. Throws it left into the end zone. Touchdown, Giants. Darius Slayton. The protection was great. Manning had all day, and Slayton uncovered.
Protection was great. Manning had all day. Not something you could say a lot about him in the last 6 or 7 years of his career.
No, certainly not. And it was one of those situations where, hey, just block for the guy. Let's let him go out in style. Fitzpatrick turned it over, but then Eli turns it right back.
Fitzpatrick back to throw. He's chased by Carter, flushed out of the pocket left. He's going to run it, and then he takes a hard hit from Ogletree. The ball came out. It's loose, and there's a scramble for it. Did the Giants get it? Ogletree with a big hit on Fitzpatrick. And now the scramble begins. Giants say they have it. What do the officials say? That's all that matters. Still no signal yet from Jerome Boger. And it's Giant ball. 3rd and 1. They're going to throw it instead. Nobody's open now. Manning fires it over the middle. And the pass intercepted. Picked off by Baker. Baker up the right side. Manning can't get it to the ground and finally shoved out of bounds at midfield.
I remember, Bob, during this game, we would joke during the commercial breaks that Eli tried to pack his whole career into one game where you get the ups and the downs and the good and the bad, but in the end, he made the plays when he had to.
He certainly did. He certainly made the plays when he had to. They held them to a field goal, so it's 14-13 Giants. But then, the Giants don't score. They pin Miami down, though, at their own 3-yard line. There's a penalty against Miami, so they move it half back, so it's now at the 2. And the Giants get points on defense.
3 tight ends to the right. Fitzpatrick crouches over center from his own 1.5. Gives for Laird. Hit and drop for a safety. Julian Love, or Sam Beal gets the safety for the Giants.
So Sam Beal with a big tackle and a safety. Probably the pinnacle of his Giants career in that game. 16-13 Giants. Giants get the ball. Manning hooks up with his buddy Shepard on a big play.
Manning over center. Play fake to Barkley. He's back to throw. He's looking. Throws it downfield for Shepard. He makes the catch. Is he in for the touchdown? No signal yet. And they say out at the 1. First to goal inside the 1. Eye set. Penny in motion to the left. Hand off Barkley. Trying to bounce it outside, and he will for the touchdown.
So Saquon Barkley goes in. Giants push the lead up to 10. And now you're starting to feel like, all right, Eli's going to win this last start. Giants go on a drive to end the 3rd quarter. Shepard with another 24-yard catch. Barkley with a 7-yard run. So the Giants start the 4th quarter with a chance to widen this lead.
2nd and 3 at the Miami 10. Eye set behind Manning. Penny the fullback. Hand off Barkley. Follows his block left. He's to the 10, to the 5, and he'll go in for the touchdown.
So Saquon Barkley, 10-yard run, 30-13 Giants, and then the defense dials up some pressure.
Back to throw is Fitzpatrick. Giants bring pressure. He's going to get sacked back at the 40-yard line, and there's a flag on the play. Actually, the 45, it's a loss of 11. Golden on the sack, along with Zimenez.
So O'Shane Zimenez, Marcus Golden with the sack, force a punt. Giants don't do anything with it. So part of the fun of this, John, in doing this podcast with you is listening to some of the names, the blasts from the past. So we're going to rip off 3 straight plays for you here that really iced this game pretty much for the Giants. The first name you're going to hear is someone that Giants fans are familiar with. And then the ensuing 2 plays, well, just remember the name and roll it around in your tumbler.
Manning in a shotgun set. Caden Smith split left. Manning takes the snap, fires a fastball over the middle, completes it for a first down to Shepard. To the 25, to the 20, and he's knocked down there. A gain of 22 to Sterling Shepard, and the Giants will have it in the red zone. Handoff right for Allen, trying to bounce it outside, keeps his feet, turns the corner, 15, 10, 5, fighting for the end zone, and he's in for the touchdown. No, they say he's down at the 1. First and goal at the 1. I sat behind Manning, who calls out signals. Crouches over center. Handoff Allen. He runs to the right, to the goal line. Touchdown, Giants. Their third rushing touchdown of the ball game. And with 4:41 to go, it's now 36-13 Giants.
So now the party's on. You know Eli's going to win in his last start in MetLife Stadium. So the Giants have the ball back under 2 minutes to go, and it's time for that moment that, you know, we kind of all hoped wasn't going to happen, but you knew Father Time is undefeated, and Eli gets one final bow.
And now Alex Tanney is going to come into the ball game to replace Eli Manning.
Close it out.
He gets a big hug and a standing ovation here at MetLife Stadium. Dad Archie's here, Mom Olivia. Two-time Super Bowl MVP. So many thrills for Giants fans, all the fourth quarter comebacks. Pretty cool stuff for Eli Manning. Getting to leave as a winner. The clock winds down to 0. And Eli Manning's possible final start ever at MetLife Stadium. The Giants end a 9-game losing streak. They beat the Dolphins 36-20.
You know, Bob, for me, the thing had a very baseball feel to it, right? Where you take the player off the field in the middle of the inning to give the guy a chance, the crowd a chance to give him a big round of applause and give him some cheers. You usually, just because of the nature of the sport, don't get that opportunity in football. It happened to present itself. It worked out. Eli, who, as you well know, doesn't usually get very emotional, got emotional on the sideline, waving to the crowd as they, you know, chanted his name and cheered him. It was just a great moment.
Yeah, it really was. You know, it was kind of bittersweet the way it all ended, but he knew it was time. His family was there. I think it was one of those situations where, you know, it was that great sort of way to end it in what was a bittersweet end to the season.
On a win, though. Okay.
On a win. He went out on a win. He went out in front of the home crowd. The Philadelphia bitter loss that they had the week before wasn't the final taste that you had. And, you know, Eli, even though there was a huge age difference, he had a really close relationship with Sterling Shepard. You know, the age difference was vast, but for some reason those two just really connected on and off the field. So it was cool to see Shepard have his 111 yards in the football game. Barkley ran for $112. Eli was 20 of 28, had the 2 touchdown passes. It was just a good way to go out.
No question about it. Of course, the good thing is that Eli's still around. Check out the Eli Manning Show on the Giants YouTube channel, which is going on, of course, during the season. Make sure you check that out. And, of course, stay tuned to the Giants Huddle podcast feed for the next episode of Papa's Perspective when the Giants take on the LA Chargers. We're going to have to dig deep to find some good Giants-Chargers games to take a look at. For Bob Papa, I'm John Schmeelk. We'll see you next time on Papa's Perspective. Brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture, the official furniture store and mattress partner of the New York Giants.